Okay, welcome back everyone to another episode of Swans Cast, where we revisited the rugby for the last time this Six Nations Championship, and we're all in quite celebratory. I can't say
How many beers you had?
it. Too many, clearly. We're all in celebratory mood because Wales have been crowned the champions. However, there's a catch. We didn't win the Grand Slam, but I think we'll all accept that based on our pre-season or pre-tournament predictions. Would you say that's fair? Anyway,
we're taking it.
Welcome back, Ashley and Lee, to the video this time. We're going to discuss the last couple of weeks. So, welcome, boys. So before we get into the nitty-gritty then, just have a quick recap, because we did miss a week after game week 4, where Wales played Italy. Just couldn't fit it in that week, and we thought, with the scoreline and everything, it wasn't too much to discuss in detail. Wales obviously won that game with a score of 48 points to 7, scoring 7 tries in the process. It's quite a good game for us, getting a few points. There wasn't too much rotation in that because I think we were quite sort of keeping a strong team to make sure we had a Grand Slam chance to make sure of it, sort of thing. In the same game week, England also beat France, surprisingly, because it doesn't seem to have been their tournament, let's just say that. And that kind of helped us out because it gave us a little bit of a cushion playing France. It wasn't necessarily a Grand Slam decider, even though it wouldn't have been because they still had Scotland to play because of reasons that we maybe will discuss later if you agree or disagree with. However, obviously we still needed to beat them to get the job done. So let's discuss it then. Let's discuss us against France. It seems like a long time ago now. We wanted to wait until the end of the tournament to discuss like the last one. Wales against France then. 32-30 to France. Heartbreak. How are we feeling about the match? Start with Ash then being the guest.
I think the first thing to take from it was just an absolutely outstanding game for a neutral to watch, even though from what I could see on Twitter, nearly everyone was supporting France. So it's nice to know how well we're loved amongst the whole nation. I think
it's because of the whole jam slam situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of ruined that though, didn't it? So I put a pin in it. But look, it was a step too far for the Welsh team after such a great tournament. I suppose you can say that. As you said, we didn't have expectations going into it, and we expected them to be
literally a step too far. Like to the fact that if he doesn't step into that ruck and seal the ball off.
I know I should be doing headlines for the papers, man. It was discipline, though, wasn't it? I mean, we 28 missed tackles in that game overall, and 15 pens conceded compared to France. I think they only conceded like 5 or 6. So look, discipline cost us in the end.
Yeah.
Would it have been any different if we were still in the Gatland era? I don't think so. I think we would have still lost that game. France was very hungry for it then because it was their title to actually go on and win then. And then obviously what transpired this weekend was just chaos, but we'll touch on that later. But yeah, great game. Nice to see the Welsh team fight to the end. Predominantly in big games previously, specifically when we used to play like Australia, we'd take the lead and then we'd lose in the last kick of the game. At least in this game, we put a fight up all the way through. Yeah, we did lose at the end of the game through our own indiscipline, but it was just nice to see there was a bit of fight this time.
Yeah. Lee?
Yeah, spotty. I was like, I'm with Ash. I probably just about got over it now. Devastated. It was the last minute. But I think it was one of the best test matches I've ever seen looking back. It was just outstanding. Everyone says about how good France play rugby, but we matched them, especially in the first half. Like we were scoring and then they were scoring and then it was like a basketball game in the first half and then just absolute, I didn't even know what happened in the second half, especially at the end. It was just carnage, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, like you said, I would have taken that at the beginning of the tournament all day. Like I came on here and I said, I'd probably think we were going to finish 5th after the autumn. So the way they've turned it around and like Ash said, to have a bit of fight and we did see more of, Pivok's rugby, I think, over the course of the tournament. So I think, quite happy with it, really, considering we lost the Grand Slam in the last minute.
Yeah. So I think I agree. Like, I was surprised to see us go toe-to-toe. Like, I think we knew France would score tries, but the fact that it was like, they score, we score, they score, we score in the first half. I can't remember the half-time score. Was it draw at half-time, wasn't it? Like 17-0, I believe.
Oh, I can't remember.
I've just got up now on BBC. Yeah, 17-0 at half-time. So at that point, it's touch and go. Like, we're away as well, which is a big factor. I know there's no fans, but it's still going to France and winning. when France are on a game, which they are in this year, the last couple of years, they've come back to, they had a bit of an off period, didn't they, for a period of time where they're a bit of a meme, which France is going to turn up. But I think these days it's usually a good team that's come into the game. So it's always going to be difficult, and I think they've beaten us in the last couple of games. So it's good to see us actually going toe-to-toe with them, like you said, Lee. And I think we kind of took control at the start of the second half, didn't we? Like, our kicking game was working better. We were able to, like, make them make mistakes. I think, like Ash, you touched on the penalty count. The first sort of part of the game, I think, was more them giving away penalties. Yeah. But then there was a pivotal moment, and I'm sure we'll discuss it, where we didn't get a try, where we perhaps should have. France come down the other end, and then it's literally all of them for maybe the last 15-20 minutes. And that's when our indiscipline cost us. Maybe it's nerves, because it's the last, 20 minutes before getting a Grand Slam you didn't expect, like a massive moment, a massive, achievement for the players. There's a lot of youth there that might not have experienced it before. And, it was difficult in the end. It's probably... But at the same time, I still think, they've done themselves justice, because nobody thought they'd be in that position, and they were literally a kick out, a touch away from winning the Grand Slam, essentially.
And it was surprisingly our best performance of the tournament, I thought, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
The performance and the confidence is just every win, isn't it? It's shown how much the momentum can do for you, because now I don't feel the same way about Wales as I did before the tournament, when I thought we weren't that good and we were kind of a sitting duck for a lot of teams. Now I think we're more competitive again.
Yeah.
My frustration with that, right, is not including World Cups, because we predominantly always get heartbreaking World Cups, especially under Warren Gatland. But in the Six Nations era, right, from early doors, it was all or nothing with Wales. It was either 4th, 5th, 6th, or Grand Slam. I know we had the title in 2013, but we were always... That's why, we were called the Jam Slam, and we were having the rubber, the green, and the luck of the bounce, and whatever you want to call it. But when we went into that game, I generally thought, we're winning the Grand Slam, because we've never not when we've been in that position. So for that to actually happen, it was a bit surreal for us, I think, or me personally anyway. But then, it's with some young players in that squad who are going to be with us for the next couple of years. It's just a good building block for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking that normally we have those Grand Slam deciders, don't we? We always win. But I remember waking up that day, and I remember thinking, we've never had, well, not in my experience anyway, we've had an away sort of Grand Slam decider.
We never have. No.
And I was thinking it's always gone our way. It's always been packed house in Cardiff, big day. So I don't know. I just remember thinking, it's a bit of a dodgy one. So I kind of was half prepared for it.
Yeah.
It's like the 70s film, isn't it? Grand Slam. That's exactly what happened, isn't it? They go out and falls apart.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the game in detail then. So any, in terms of the performance, you already said probably your best performance. I think we scored 2 tries in the first half. Dan Bigger decided he was just going to run through and play crash ball. Do you think he's put his hand up for...
Jamie Roberts, 100%.
Has he put his hand up now for... I criticised Dan Bigger earlier in our video series. Earlier games in the Six Nations, I thought Sheedy was offering far more coming off the bench. But the last 2 games, I think, especially this game, he was very, very good in this game.
I think we took him off too early. I think we took him off too early. Yeah, I think that's started the downfall for us in that game, is we took him off too early.
I don't know how true it is, but I'm sure I saw there was whatever data they use on the players was showing that he was starting to cramp up, which is why they made the decision. But I guess as the player on a pitch, he probably wouldn't have come off unless he's told.
Yeah, I think it's worked well up to this point. Sort of bringing Sheedy on in the other games, so I can understand why he's done it. But I agree. I think they took him off too early. Just the occasion. They took Jonathan Davis off as well, didn't they? Sort of soon, around about that time.
He's not much rugby though, is he?
Yeah, but I think you needed them on the field there when it started to fall apart.
You need your experience in that game to see
them on that field.
No, that's fair. Anyway, in regards to his try, very good try, just sort of crash balled himself over the line. Very good game from Dan Bigger. I think he didn't miss a conversion as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And penalty.
I think big statement coming, but I think I was a bit critical of Dan Bigger as well. But I think on that tournament, I think he was the best 10 across the nations. I think for the Lions. I mean, if we're looking at that, I don't think he will pick him. I don't think I probably won't pick him for the Lions as a starting thing, but I think across the home nations, I think he was the best 10 by far.
You might have staffed the Lions, but I think you'd go.
Oh,
Yes.
he'd definitely go, 100%. Yeah,
100% goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he starts.
Ooh.
I generally think he starts. To me, Finn Russell's opportunity was Saturday to stick his hand up and steal it.
Yeah.
And he, even though the red card we'll get to later is dubious, Finn Russell didn't do enough
He's
in
just
that
so
game.
hot and cold, isn't he? He's like, he
Yeah,
can
I
either
agree.
be amazing or he can just be a bit like what
And
could have been.
Biggest that try for me is what gets bigger on the plane to South Africa, because that's what we need. We need physicality against South Africa, and for him to just do that, God, he's got to go. And
I think,
Sexton wouldn't be doing that.
Farrell and Sexton have been a bit anonymous this tournament, as far as I'm concerned. I think Sexton looked. Oh, he's old as well. Sexton is mind. I'm surprised he's still first choice for Ireland, but it obviously shows they haven't got anyone to offer him competition really.
Well, no, I think the issue with Ireland is that they don't give the option, because they brought that Freddie Burns guy on against us, and look what he did. He'll probably never play again now.
And what's happened to Joey Carberry? Is he injured? Because he was good when he was playing for Ireland, and then he's just disappeared.
I'm not sure.
But
they need to find another number 10, Ireland do, because Sexton, what is he, like 33, 34 now?
Yeah, he's one concussion away from retirement, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, the half penny probably is as well, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's missing out on getting probably some cap milestones because of missing half of this tournament. Anyway, so that's Dan Biggar's try. Second try in the first half, Navidi.
Oh, Navidi was colossus in that game.
Yeah.
I think he's class. Yeah.
He's come on wonders.
Oh, he's class.
What I like about him, what I like about him is that 2 years ago, does he even get in Gatland's team? Because everyone was all about Ellis Jenkins. Of course, unfortunately for Ellis Jenkins, he has his leg break and he's out for a while, but Navidi's just grabbed that and gone. Him, Tips and Faletau right now. I put my hand up and say that's my starting back three for Lions, to be honest.
I don't know if you were there, Lee, but one of the judgment days that we went to Nando's in St David's after the match. And Navidi was injured and not playing. And we saw him walking through St David's. So it's just, I thought I'd throw that in there. He's massive, though.
He's still starstruck.
Yeah. But I was surprised because, like, I think he's really good, isn't he, Navidi? But, like, he's not that... He hasn't been in the setup for that long, like you said. He kind of... But he's not young. He's high 20s, I think. But he's one of them players, I guess, that you don't necessarily know they can do that level. You pick them once and then never look back.
It's been hard to get in that back row, though, over the last couple of years. Like Tipperick, Warburton, Lydiot, Moriarty, Faletau, Ellis Jenkins, the list goes on with the back row.
Does Moriarty get back in?
Not at the moment.
I don't see it. No.
Like I said, those three there at the moment, you'd be hard pressed to push them out.
Well, Faletau's got a bit of an injury history in here, so is Navidi, so I guess there might be opportunities for the others. Okay, second half. Obviously, France did also score 2 tries in the first half. Got anything you want to say about those ones in particular?
Oh, I can't remember if it was the first or the second one, but it was
the second one, isn't it?
Last, wasn't it?
Dupont.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Dupont. Who scored the second?
Dupont's was the second try. The other two obviously came at the end when we were holding on. I can't say the first guy's name, I'm not going to lie. It's like Taufafua or something. I don't know how to say his name.
We'll leave you hanging on that one.
That. You are?
We'll leave you hanging on that one. We won't try and help out with that name.
But Dupont scored the second. But yeah.
I can't
it was
remember.
The Dupont one when it was the chip over the top, and then
the chip over the top try. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
that was
phenomenal.
Yeah, that was just that's what France are all about.
That was Dupont's one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably hiding behind the SETI at that point, to be honest. So.
Yeah, but yeah, like it just shows their attacking sort of credentials, doesn't it? We knew that they had them, and well, we had to go toe to toe, and we did up to that point. So second half we come out, and we're probably the team on top. Josh Adams scores a try.
Oh, Tipperick with the grubber.
Yes, that was that kick so well placed. Tips is starting 10 for Lions, man.
You could literally play him at 12, I reckon.
Yeah, you could play him anywhere on the field. I'd happily. You play prop, I reckon, easily.
Do a job.
So that's a good. Well, I think there was a bit of controversy around it, was there? Potentially, but I think in the end it was a legit. Was it the grounding?
Yeah, it was a grounding.
Maybe the question that the referee asked meant that they couldn't be disallowed. because there was no evidence to disallow it.
Majority of the scores in that game were TMO, though, weren't they? There was, to be fair to both sides of the fence, they held each other up something fierce. It was good. Good
we held France up a couple of times at the end, didn't we? Which was crazy. But I thought the ref had a good game, to be fair, but we'll maybe touch on his performance at the end. But yeah, so there was a long TMO break. I think the kick was like everyone was sort of gushing over the kick. But the way that Josh Adams goes down, he maybe didn't help himself because it felt like he was kind of... he's gone down, is going to get grounded easily, but the French defence obviously tried their best to keep him up. And it's margins. If he got grounded or not, it's like margin. It's so close. Like to
but we've had a couple. I remember Ireland last year in Dublin where they went over from a driving line out, and you couldn't see the ball being grounded, but they were like, "Yeah, it probably does." You couldn't see it. They just give it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, back in the old day, that would be just given, wouldn't it, before TMO?
Yeah.
So
I think you always give the benefit to the attacking team anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
I think it comes back to good refereeing as well, because it's probably in that situation, it's like the way he's asked the question means they've got to have conclusive evidence to disallow it rather than the other way around, where they need conclusive evidence to allow it. So we had the benefit there, but we didn't have the benefit with another try. Louis Rizamit with an absolutely, what could have been try of the tournament finish. Absolutely incredible how he's managed to stretch out and put that down. But unfortunately, it's slightly out, which at the time I didn't think it was.
That was the moment, wasn't it? That was game over. I think we were 10 points up with me, and then he goes over. I think that was grand.
It's the bonus point as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that was grand slam there. That was. I think we go and win the game as well with that.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating. I think it's just the way the ball is in his hand because he's on the side. If the ball is straight, it's not out, but literally the edge of the ball is touching the line.
Did they change the rule or something about touching the base of the flag?
The base of the pad used to be the try line, didn't it? So it was the same with the pads on the posts. If you touch it, it's the try line. But I don't know when they changed that, and I was absolutely fuming when I found out.
I felt like it was so unfortunate, and that's where you think, the try was so good. Do you just let him have it? And but I guess rules are rules. However, in the build up to that, there was a collapsed maul, I believe, and the question of a penalty try, which arguably again should have been given, wasn't given by the ref. He said himself he didn't have enough evidence from what he saw to suggest a try would have been scored if that foul play was not committed, and he did not go to the TMO on this one occasion. Maybe from what people have spoken about afterwards, pundits and like Nigel Owens himself has come out and said that he believes it should have been a penalty try.
Yeah, it's all good in hindsight, isn't it, saying that? But you know,
it didn't happen.
I think he did well, the ref. I think the game was, as I said, it was enjoyable to watch because he let it flow. And I mean, there was a lot of TMO for the hold-ups and everything else that went on in that game.
But I think it kind of added to the spectacle a little bit, though.
Yeah, it did. Look, we're going to pick at it now, aren't we? Because we could have won the Grand Slam, but we haven't. Yeah.
I'm not like, it is what it is. The ref's always going to not make a mistake, but these decisions are so hard to make spur of the moment. You're not going to get everything to the letter of the law 100% accurate through a rugby game, and that's never ever going to happen. We had the rub of the green in several games, so you can't argue about it. Yeah, you can't argue about it. But that is something that, again, if it did come our way, would have changed the game. And I think, like Lee said, even if France come down and score 2 tries, they've got to score more than that. And I think it changes the entire dynamic of the game.
I think. Like you said, I think the ref had a good game, but that was a penalty try for me. I think. Yeah. He said he didn't have evidence that the try was going to be scored. I think the front 5, by the time he blew the whistle, were in row A. They were just absolutely, but like you said, we've had decisions. Yeah.
So we took the 3 points instead, and that was it from us essentially in the game.
See that for me, I know like hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I remember thinking at the time they just had a man sent to the bin, didn't they, for something? I think on that moment.
Punish him.
Yeah, I think they should have gone for a scrum there.
Was it a forward that got sent off?
Yeah, they just had a forward gone to the bin, and I remember thinking at the time, I was like, I wouldn't be taking the 3 here. I think we were 7 up at the time, and then I think the 3 took us to 10 up.
They probably had confidence that they would defend a 10.
Yeah, they probably thought they'd be back up, didn't they? They probably thought they'd get back up in the red zone, but like I think I'd have taken a scrum there. and just kept the pressure on. Just kept, what was it, 20 minutes left maybe?
I guess the difference is, France need 2 tries. Like, they don't care, they're going to go for it. Whereas if this was like first game of the tournament, France maybe wouldn't have come with the same ferocity to come and get those 2 tries.
Yeah,
and taking points is good, but I guess like that's experience again. Not that Alan Wynne-Jones isn't experienced, but the type of experience. It's a bit of a weird situation all round, wasn't it? So they took the 3 points. I guess as well, when you think about it, they've just scored a disallowed try. Potentially had another try they would have got sort of collapsed more. Maybe they should have backed themselves with a scrum, because they've gone over twice in the space of a couple of minutes, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Down the other end we go, though. France managed to put the pressure on us instead, and it didn't change for the rest of the match. I haven't got the exact minute that the disallowed try happened and that penalty, but I believe it was like the last 20 minutes or so. I think we managed to hold up 2 French tries, and then somewhere around the 70th minute there was a red card, I believe, maybe just after.
Always a red card. There's always a red card.
That red card, I just instantly thought, that's what I thought it was done there. Because they had scored a try and it got disallowed for a red card. I thought that sums up the tournament. I thought
that's jam slam. That's jam slam in the bag, isn't it?
I thought it was done. 10 minutes left. I thought that was it.
Yeah. So so there's a red card. To be honest, I think for me now, after this red card, the pivotal moment happens, which I don't know if you'll agree with. So we had a penalty instead of them having a penalty because of the red card. So that was, get out of jail free, if you like. Dan Bigger kicks to touch. That's fine. That's his final action of the game. He gets subbed. So I know you said that's the wrong decision, but that's not what I'm questioning here. So my issue is, Halaholu also came on around the same sort of time. Is that what you're saying for Jonathan Davis?
Jonathan Davis. Yeah.
So for me, I don't really know what he did to infringe, but we outwin the line-out that resulted from this penalty in our half still. And we kick it away, so Sheedy kicks it up to like their 22 essentially. I think it was Fiku who caught it and starts running back at us. All of a sudden, the ref's blown his whistle because Halahulu was infringed somewhere, and all of a sudden France have now got a penalty in our half again. I don't know what he's done, but we've just kicked the ball away to clear the ball. Surely you just don't do anything, just chase. And then they have to come back at us. They're a man down. I just don't understand what he's done, but what's allowed them to do is go back into the corner, straight back into a 22. Do you know what he did?
I can't remember what he did, to be honest. I remember the penalty. I remember them
on mute as well.
We were
I'm just reading the match report. It doesn't really specify on there, to be honest. No. Why? They just say that they win the ball from our line out in.
So they didn't win the ball from when Bigger clears it. We won that and we cleared, and then
it's after that.
Oh right, yeah. So look, I can't remember what I didn't know at the time. I don't know what the reason was given, unless it was like obstruction or offside or something. I'm not sure, but I just thought that was so pivotal because they're running back from their 22 with the ball now, with a man down. Instead of that, we've given them a penalty in our half. So yeah, for me, that's where you've allowed them back in, and we already had a warning at that point that another foul in our 22 is a yellow card, and it didn't take us long to reach that with Falatau getting sent off. So we kind of just put the pressure back on ourselves, because if we don't let them back in, we just control the game in the middle of the pitch. At least we run the clock down more, which we did run the clock down, to be fair, quite a bit. There's a couple of reset scrums. They did score a try, which, it was coming for ages. It was coming. So we accept that. I think there was a couple of minutes left. Liam Williams then gets a yellow card. Was that before or after the incident where we went into the scrum and sealed the ball off?
That was before.
It is before that,
yeah. It was literally like,
So Liam Williams, go on.
No, I was going to say it's literally like 50 seconds left when we got penalised for sealing off.
So Liam Williams gets a yellow card, which was it's not a clear-cut one. Again, hindsight, talking afterwards.
I don't think it needs to be clear-cut because we were giving away so many.
I
think we were lucky not to get another one straight after it as well.
We should have had another one.
He was just it was coming. He could have literally done nothing, and I think someone would have got sent off just because we'd given so many penalties away. It was coming.
It was just relentless pressure on it. I definitely think someone else.
The question I was just saying about the Liam Williams incident was the fact that debatably it wasn't even a foul, because he did get back up onto his feet and Dupont plays the ball before he actually goes for it. So. And I think Nigel Owens came out afterwards and said he don't think it was a foul. But again, it's hindsight. It's easy to say. In the sort of heat of the moment, how quick the game was being played and how many fouls we'd given away, I guess, the ref, you can't blame him for making that decision. But like you said, if we were meant to have another one afterwards, then I guess it would have been the same result, 13 men. However, France did give us the ball, and we had it with a minute left. We're just trying to do that game of pick and drive. Slow the clock down. You two could take this one because you know more about rugby than me, about what might have happened in this ruck that lost us the game.
It was just absolutely criminal.
Poor game management.
They knocked it on, didn't they, and give us a scrum. And I thought that was game over. We had a minute. And literally every team on earth does it. You can have a minute of just rucking the ball, couple of phases, and kick it off. That's literally all he had to do for 50 seconds. That was criminal. That was Scotland did it. Scotland mounted about 20 phases before they scored the try, didn't they, on Friday?
Saturday.
And Ireland have done it for years. Just 1 minute pick and drive.
We've done it recently. England 2015, we did it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We win that. We win the ball from there, pushing them into touch with their line out in 2015, and then we just hold on, and they're crumbling us because. They smash our scrum because our scrum had collapsed all game and Falatau just holds on for life and we just go through the phases and off it goes. I do not understand how we've lost the game at that point.
That's the most upsetting one.
Sealing off was it called? That was what it was given for.
So do
you want to explain what sealing off is, just in case anyone's unaware?
Was it sealing off? Have a look.
I think it was sealing off.
It's basically that the player who's got the ball, the player who's in possession of the ball, the supporting runner is basically attached to him as he goes into the ruck. And he's already sort of, as the player goes to the ground, he's already protecting the ball before, as he's hitting the ground. So there's no option of competition at the ruck then, is it? He's already sealed off the ball because he's gone down with him. So
if you're going into a drive like that, you've got to detach yourself as they go down, and then
somebody's going to be tackled, and then you've got to enter the tackle area then as a defender to defend the ball. You can't just sort of join as a two and seal off the ball, sort of thing. Essentially.
Fair enough. Well, penalty given to France. They kicked that back into our end, and at the end of the day, when you've got a two-man advantage, they've
England.
Got to make it count,
I was just thinking England did it against us today. One of their penalties later on. I think Ellis Genge did it. Where he just completely seals off the ball. It just popped into my head.
Yeah. So cruel. The clock turns red. France go over for their fourth try. They needed a bonus point win to keep the tournament alive for themselves, and they got it in literally the last play of the game. The kick didn't matter. It just would have helped them a little bit in terms of points difference going forward. But heartbreak, and especially when it came on the same day as Swans Cardiff. It was quite hard to undertake, to be honest, but. Yeah.
Hey, Ospreys won that weekend, mate. That was a great weekend.
Oh, they did Leinster, didn't they? On the Friday, it was brilliant. That was class.
All the luck went out the window on the Friday. I messaged my mate during the Wales game, going, "Oh, we got no hope. All the luck's gone, mate." And then I think I just had a smidge.
Yeah. So, however, like you said, it was a very enjoyable watch, especially for a neutral. A very exciting game of rugby, and I think when your heart's in your mouth for so long, and you can't watch, then you know that something. It's entertaining you, isn't it? It's gripping, and great advert for the Six Nations. Probably one of the best games I've seen in quite a few years in terms of competitiveness and what was sort of resting on it.
It's bonkers that we've had all these fantastic games this year and no supporters.
I know.
Yeah.
Would it have been different with supporters? You can't tell, but it would have been a great spectacle with supporters.
It was class, wasn't it?
It would have been.
It was so good. It was the only thing that could have made it better was if France had played all the games up to that point, and that was the last game.
That was the final game.
Winner takes all. That would have just been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess rules can be broken with no repercussions these days. So
crack on with your waffles, isn't it?
I mean, as a result of the French breaking the COVID rules, fully aware of what they were doing, they got to play Scotland on, well, Friday just gone, so the Friday after we played them, with an opportunity to take the tournament away from Wales. So they needed 4 tries, and I believe was it 21 points.
Yeah.
Win by 21 points. Yeah.
Yeah. So they needed a bonus point win and to win by 21 points for them to become the Six Nations champions. Did anyone think they were going to do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah, I thought so as well, to be honest. But you said nobody wanted us to win against France, and Twitter was saying, supporting France. But Scotland did want to do us a favour, to be fair to them. They were well up for it, and they said before the match they wanted to do us a favour, and they succeeded in getting a 27-23 win against France, who... Bit of a weird game. They looked a bit out of sorts, didn't they, at the start? I don't know whether it was in their heads too much that they needed to win and they were just trying too hard. They did stabilise a bit. I think end of the first half, beginning of the second half, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it. But
after Hogg's yellow card, I thought they were gonna.
Yeah,
because that was going into the second half, and then if they'd come out and scored early in the second half, I think they would have gone then.
It was quite similar in that period where France were attacking Scotland. It'd been like Scotland controlling the game up to like the last 10 minutes of the first half. And then all of a sudden, France bombarding them in their 22. But what was quite similar to the Wales game is the amount of penalties Scotland were giving away trying to keep them out.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the France-Scotland game, they both conceded 15. It was the evens on the penalties, which is... It's a lot of penalties for international rugby, which you should be doing. And this is what is just like blown my mind. I don't know what happened for France, but you're chasing a title. You don't give away 15 penalties, but they have, and that's what's cost them at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the weather maybe played a part in Scotland's favour as well.
Yeah. Scottish summer, isn't it?
Kicking games. Some of them kicks were fantastic from Scotland. To be fair, So there was obviously Stuart Hogg yellow card. Probably one of the players you wouldn't want to get one as well. He's captain and all that. And I love it when you're like, the ref calls the captain over, right, okay, nip it in the bud now, next one's a yellow, and then the captain is the one that does it.
Gets the yellow. Like.
But yeah. I can't remember, did France score a try while he was off? I think they might have scored one in the first half.
Right. Yeah. I think it was like the last minute of his sin bin, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So they held on well, to be fair to Scotland, they did.
Yeah, so Scotland come back at them, though. I mean, I didn't watch the second half, so you two can have to lead second half a little bit. So, obviously, there was one big incident.
Oh my God.
The red cards, yeah. Well,
never.
Touch rugby now.
So what happened? What actually happened? What was the incident?
Finn Russell's sort of trucking it up, isn't he? And I think I can't remember who comes to tackle him. Is it Doolan? I can't remember, I think. And he just takes him so high, and what's Russell supposed to do? He's got the ball in his hand, so he sort of just put his arm up. I know they say you can't lead with your forearm, but your reaction is just to put your arm up to defend yourself, isn't it? And he sort of hits him in the chest, and then it rises up to his neck. So slow motion, it looks horrendous. But the guy, Doolan's gone in really high. What are you supposed to do? He can't even hand off anymore. He should never be sent off for a handoff.
It is high, but it's unintentional.
Yeah.
And I think, if he makes full contact to the head, I agree that he goes, because it's a head injury and we have to be careful. But because both players seem perfectly fine, and I think you can see, he's gone in high to tackle anyway, which, even if I remember correctly, the French commentator says the tackle method was poor as well. Yeah, he's just going to palm off. He used his forearm instead. But
I thought that if you make contact with the chest and then it goes up, then that's a yellow.
Yeah, it should have been.
I thought it had to be direct to the head for it to be red territory.
Well, they said like the refs were sort of commenting. They said it was direct to the neck, which would be a red. But it just looks like he sort of just slips up.
But then, are they not questioning the player not coming in lower where he should be with the tackle in the first place? Like, if there was no contact to that area, would it have been questioned a high tackle and a penalty the other way?
Yeah, I think so. So. Yeah, because he does go high into the tackle, because it's desperation there from France, because they started to slip away from them a little bit because Scotland are in the ascendancy.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Finn Russell's reaction afterwards. He has a little wry smile on his face. He shakes hands with Doolin after it because there's no animosity there. It wasn't dangerous. There was no malice. It was just one of those things. It's a contact sport, and if we're red carding that now, then well, I know head injuries are very much the key topic, and if it was a Wales game, it's a red card every day. But it's unfortunate, but look, it's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, we had one in. It was like the Kuadrani one, was it, in the World Cup on Patchell? When he comes in and he gets a yellow for that, doesn't he?
Patchell's tackle was awful.
Yeah, but he gets a yellow for it, and it was. Well, I haven't seen that back for years, but I think that was quite similar.
Yeah, I think I understand the whole thing. He's made contact with the head, but if it's the player's tackling's fault, then that needs to be a mitigating factor in terms of not getting them a card. Because at the end of the day, don't make a head injury, but the tackle has also got to do the tackle correct to protect themselves. If they're protecting themselves, how can you send the other player off?
The rules have been obviously what they are now, obviously with the tackle area. But the idea is to lower the tackle height. So it's harsh to penalise a player in possession if the tackle is high when they're trying to clamp down on a high tackle.
Well, I guess that would be debated and looked at. The rules are constantly changing around high tackles and head injuries and stuff like that. And in rugby, they always adapting and trying to work it out. So, I mean, it didn't help France anyway because they had that advantage and then ended up getting a yellow themselves, didn't they?
Well, Doolan did a massive favour then, didn't he, by keeping the ball in play at the end.
Yeah. Bonkers.
Yeah, but regardless, even if Scotland had lost and not scored that try right at the end, which got them the win, France still wouldn't have won the championship because it didn't get the bonus points or the points difference. But credit Scotland grinding out a win after a pretty tough game, and it's twice. I think they beat them last year, so that's 2 wins in a row. Scotland, compared to the Scotland I know of growing up in rugby, they're definitely a team now that's I always thought when we had Six Nations, we'd beat Italy and we'd beat Scotland and then see what the other games have got to offer. But now it's not so much the case, it's just Italy.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that the media and the build up to the game, Stuart Hogg obviously touched on it quite a few times in his pre and post match conference. Scotland would even thought of, they were just sort of they're here. Can they do Wales a favour? And obviously, I seen on social media, I don't know if the mainstream media picked up on it, it was do Wales a favour from '99 with Scott Gibbs and all that. And a bit of banter with the Scots on Twitter and we get into it. But they weren't mentioned, were they? And it's frustrating because that's a massive win for Scotland. Yeah. What's even more so is if they, I think 1 point, literally if they'd scored an extra penalty or a conversion, if they missed one, they finish above Ireland. They were 1 point behind Ireland in that table, 1 point difference. And I think if they'd won by 7 points, they would have finished second in the Six Nations.
So remind me though, so Ireland finished
third.
Yeah, and so Scotland were fourth. So
Wales top up
England were fifth then. Is that what you're saying?
England were fifth, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I just wanted to check because you said Scotland were fourth and Ireland were third, so just have to check, where we're...
where Italy usually finish, just one above that.
Well, we finished last year, but
effectively, we've taken over from England, and Scotland have taken over from Wales.
Yeah. So, just another note on England. It's the first time they've lost the Triple Crown games, all 3 of them. Been quite a while, I believe. I did have the date, but I forgot it. But it's 40 odd years, isn't it? Something ridiculous. First time they finished 5th, maybe since the Six Nations has come in, I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think they've been quite consistently one.
Yeah, to be fair, whenever we've won it, they always seem to be second.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the lowest they probably have finished 5th before, maybe. But to me, I think that's
in Six Nations. It's only 2000 in it, so it's it's quite young being Six Nations. And Eddie Jones is having a review, are you heard? So he might not be in a job much longer. However, they're looking at Gatland if rumours are to be believed.
Oh, surely not.
Surely he can't. Surely his contract in New Zealand is clad but then they're not exactly doing much at the moment, are they? So it might be interesting.
How would you feel if Warren Gatland went to England?
I think it ruins everything he's done at Wales.
I think the Pivac train picks up some steam. Then that's what happens. Like,
Wow, that'll be a good.
But then, would he
that'll
be the
good match.
same and have the same impact without Sean Edwards next to him?
you say this right, Gatland in England might be a good thing. He might, lay down, boys, just let him score.
Yeah.
When we turn up, like everyone else, play your hearts out. But when Wales here, just let them through. It's fine.
Well, I guess we're talking about rumours at the moment. There might be nothing in it. So
I don't think so. I
can't see it.
If Eddie Jones does go and then moves are made for Gatland, maybe we'll have a conversation on a bigger scale about that in the future. But until that happens, personally, I don't think they'll get rid of Eddie Jones. I think they'll stick him out another year and see what happens.
they'll go to the next World Cup with Eddie Jones. I mean, took him to a World Cup final. They've had a bad year. You can't. They won the World Cup final, then they won the Six Nations. They won that Autumn Nations thing that we made up last year. So yeah, he's not having he's having a bad run. It's not the end of the world. Is it?
You know the way the English media is. They're just like, oh my god, he's in a review. Yeah. They had a bad tournament. Oh my god. The thing is with Eddie Jones, we won't go into England too much, but he just needs to change it now. They need to overhaul players again now. He did it before, didn't he? He did it like he got rid of sort of the old guard like Dylan Hartley and co, and then he brought in all the newer players then and took them to the World Cup final. So he probably do the same again now.
Bring in
the Simmons brothers.
Their problem was the spine of the team is Saracens, and they haven't played rugby in months because they got relegated. So that's exactly what the issue was.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, overview of the tournament then. There's mainly a Welsh focus because that's obviously what we've been analysing, being Welsh. Who has been your Welsh player of the tournament then? Difficult one maybe, but interesting question nonetheless.
Faletau.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, it's a good shout.
Nice to see him hit a bit of form, especially after his injury.
He looks leaner, doesn't he? He used to be quite big. He looks a bit slimmer now, and he's more dynamic. He was class. I don't know. He might not be, but it just seemed that way.
Look, he maybe has. Maybe he's changed his game style as well. But I think, since he's found a bit of form, it's nice to see him back playing to the best. Yeah,
he was outstanding. He's definitely up there.
I think honourable mentions for Lewis Rees-Zammit and Wyn Jones as well.
Wyn Jones definitely got to be in the conversation, I think, as well. I think I probably shoehorn George North in there as well.
Absolutely, George North.
Yeah, he was class. Especially that I said at the beginning of the tournament, I didn't think he was a 13. He's been in all fairness.
His future.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if Gatland looks at that as an option. Because if I was picking my Lions team at the moment, it's him and Robbie Henshaw centre for me.
What's a massive shout?
That's what I'm going with, man. Big, strong guys in the middle.
Maybe we'll do a special pre-Lions, like...
We should do a Lions test one, definitely. Yeah. I'd love to do that.
Try and see if we can pick what we would pick as a Lions team and then assess it against what they pick in the end.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
I'll go George North for player of the tournament for me, just because I doubted him so much in the centre and he was class.
He shut you up, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, good on him, glad. He was class. He did do well, no fairness.
So you're just trying to say you got it wrong again? Yeah, just confirming.
I like to think that they all listen, and they listen to me. They obviously listen to the show. Oh, they obviously listen, and they take my words on board.
If you're picking your player of the tournament on the fact that you give them criticism before the start of the tournament, does that make yours damn bigger then, Luke?
Well, I guess if that's the way we're picking them, then it won't be for the start though. It was after the Scotland game I criticised everything. I think it was after that one, and Gareth Davis, but I would probably still criticise Gareth Davis. I think he's not first choice anymore for me.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
either Hardy or Thomas Williams, I think, is the way forward. Don't know which one yet. I need to see more of both. They need to have a run of games, really. They both have had unfortunate injuries which affected their rhythm. I think it was lucky that we had Thomas Williams back for this last game, although it didn't really matter in the end. Okay. I'll probably just go with... I'm going to go Lewis Rees-Zammit, because I thought he probably, like Lee said earlier in one of the videos, he probably doesn't even start under certain circumstances. Josh Adams, for example, not breaking rules. And he's just put his hand up and now he's become undroppable. I think he's like one of the first names on the team sheet now.
I think it's horrible to say, but I think it's put the nail in Halfpenny's international career, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's definitely not first choice either, is he? We said when we were talking about them all becoming available again in the third game, Halfpenny, even though I know he got injured, but I think we said he was going to drop out in all of our teams.
Yeah,
I think the combination you've got there as well with North on the field at 13,
yes.
you
just
just shift him
Holo
to.
He doesn't
Is,
offer enough,
hold
does he?
on.
Now, or it's just his kick in, and that's just not enough anymore.
Yeah,
biggest
Sheedy's
player, then
showing he can do it now.
fine. Yeah, Sheedy can do it too. I mean,
Yeah.
Bristol Bears Saturday night. It was Saturday or Friday. He last minute
Saturday, yeah.
conversion to win the game. That's pressure kick all day. Like.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's had a good international career, and he probably will get a couple more caps. I think they got some games in the summer, haven't they? When the Lions are playing.
I think he'll go. He'll go on the Lions tour. I think
Do you
just
reckon?
because he gives that. Yeah, because he gives that option of kicking, and we touched on it earlier. Like none of us could really make our mind up on a starting number 10. So, yeah, I think
It's
you kind of have to
reliability
keep
then
him in the
for
conversation.
someone.
I think, I think Gatland takes him. I think if it was maybe someone else, I think they wouldn't
Maybe
take him.
not,
But
yeah.
I think Gatland takes him.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
Definitely
so,
looking forward to doing a Lions video. Though we could go on about 3 days.
Yeah, well, we'll do it. You'll know more than me about it, I'll be honest, but I'm happy to ask the right questions and get all the information out of everyone else. Other teams then, looking at other standout players from the Six Nations.
Hamish Watson.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
Nailed on
All
for
day.
Lions.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my big shout from Scotland. If we're on that topic, Van der Merwe on the wing. I think he starts.
He's massive.
He's a machine. Same about physicality in South Africa. He starts.
Yeah, I think so. I think he keeps Louis Rees-Zammit out, to be honest.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah,
Out of the team or out of the tour?
Out of the team.
The team. Yeah.
I think he could be an outside. Louis Rees-Zammit getting a call-up would be deserved,
It's
but I
next
wouldn't be
year
surprised.
now, though, isn't it?
No, it's this year.
It
It's
is. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the squad, if that makes sense. As horrible as that is to say. I could see him not going, because he's got plenty of time to do them in the future anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
There
Hamish
is a
Watson.
Lions tour South Africa this year.
Yeah, and it's going in South Africa too. They confirmed that this week now, and they just got
fair enough. I don't know why. I thought I saw that it was next year, but maybe fair enough. Okay, anyone else? So we've done Scotland. France obviously finished second. Highlights.
Dupont.
Always.
Dupont.
Is he the best scrum half in the world?
Best player in the world at the moment for me.
Best scrum half in the world, yeah. He's not the best
call,
player
yeah.
in the world right now, no.
Oh no.
No.
Who are we saying?
Who's the best player in the world?
That's a hard one though, with all the different positions and how.
Pascal. just for that game back then. No, mate. Alan Wynne-Jones. 5 Six Nations titles.
Yeah,
man is a machine. You know, he's what, 36 now, 37.
Yeah, fair.
Doesn't look like slowing down, does he?
That's crazy. No. He's like the Ronaldo of rugby.
And he didn't throw his armband on the floor when they lost against France either.
No.
Yeah.
Did you see that goal? Though? It was definitely a goal.
Oh, absolutely, it's a goal.
That's crazy. Where's goal line technology there?
In Serbia, you probably have to buy that on the street, mate.
FIFA should be installing that, though, shouldn't they? For was it a qualifier game?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. That's poor.
That should be installed for that because that's
Is it a qualifier?
It maybe if it's not. If it's a friendly, okay, it doesn't matter so much. But would he have kicked off so much if it was a friendly?
No, probably not.
It probably is a friendly now. We're talking shit. But if it's a qualifier, that's awful.
He loves his goals, doesn't he? Stats. He probably just
Yeah, but I mean, there's passion at the end of the day, isn't it? So everyone does it differently. We know you're to discuss Ronaldo though. Okay, anyone else got any English or Irish or?
Bernie from Ireland, I think. Tad Bergie. And I mentioned Robbie Henshaw earlier. I think Henshaw starts centre with North for me for the Lions. I think that's where it's going on.
Yeah, Henshaw for me, class.
Gatland does like Jonathan Davis, so he may go with that. But Henshaw starts 12 for the Lions.
Yeah, Henshaw definitely. I'm trying to think really. There wasn't that many. There was a couple. There's not loads that really put their hand up, was there? That's why I think it's a good Lions team to pick. I think it's a good conversation to have because
Scotland are definitely more in the mix than they have been, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
I know we say no, and obviously we laugh at England's performance, and you could say that there wouldn't be as many English players that make the team this year, and I agree that's probably accurate. The thing with that then though is that England's teams will continue playing club rugby because their season obviously goes on longer. Their best players will be playing in playoffs for Europe and their league. So yeah, there'll definitely be a good few English players in there. It's going to be a hard call for some of the Saracens boys to get in that Lions team, but I think if I was going to pick any, it would be Atoje will go.
Yeah,
and I probably think Farrell goes as well. To be honest,
he probably does because there's no other maybe reliable options like Sheedy's been good, but he hasn't been starting. Is it too early for him? And then Finn Russell, he might go, but then he's unreliable. Sexton, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? That's why you think Farrell probably is going to go, even if he's not first choice.
He's England's captain too, so he has to go. He brings that experience. He's been around a while now, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, he'll go. He'll definitely go.
I think the Welsh boys have put their hands up well as well, though. Like considering where they maybe were before the tournament, they probably all done themselves good coming out of it. So they couldn't really have done any more, I don't think, in terms of putting their hands up. Anyway,
no.
Try of the tournament then. Doesn't have to be Welsh, but if you want to keep it Welsh, that's fine.
Well, I think I can't remember who scored. I can't remember who finished it, but I think France's try against Ireland, and maybe the one they scored against Wales as well. That DuPont one. Yeah, one of those two. I think.
Josh Adams against England. Just because it'll forever be like every game after it, telling the captain not to panic. I think it was Ireland were playing someone there, and the ref, calm down, Johnny, calm down. To me, the key, the Hardy try against England, that was the best try of the tournament from a Welsh point of view, because I think that's what really got the ball rolling. Like, hang on, we're on to something here. We can crack on from here now.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Liam Williams also scored a good try, didn't he? It was a nice little flick by Louis Rees-Zammit to put him in.
Yeah,
his score against Scotland as well. I think that's a highlight
of the round for the first 2 game weeks. So he's definitely got a shout, and he probably would have won it again this time if he had finished that one.
Yeah,
and he probably would have won it against England if he had finished that one where he ran the length of the pitch. So
yeah.
I mean, but that's ifs and buts. But yeah, he's definitely got a shout with the ones against Ireland and the one against Scotland. Some good class finishes there from him. Going forward then, what does this mean for Wales, and how has it changed expectations going into the rest of the year and, autumn internationals and next season's Six Nations?
From a Welsh point of view, we've just come out of 12 years with Gatland with unprecedented success. Success that maybe we never thought we would see in our generation. Grand Slam, Six Nation titles, World Cup semi-finals. I still argue to this day the 2011 World Cup, we would have won that had we gotten past France. That was ours to lose, and we did lose it. Painfully, yeah. But I think Pivac came in and said he was going to put his stamp on. Obviously, we beat Italy in his first game 40-something nil, and it was like, business as usual for Wales. And then obviously, we didn't win again then until, September, October, whenever the autumn internationals cracked on. And we were all very much like, oh, what's this? And, you have your Pivac out calls and stuff, but, you need time to develop a team. Like, we've seen it, you guys as well, particularly you cover football, you'll know. You see it, you've got to give the manager or the coach time to bring in their implement. We've scored 20 tries in this Six Nations. I can't remember the last time we scored 20 tries. That's the most we've ever
scored in the Six Nations.
Yeah, our defence needed a bit of shoeing up, and I think it got better as the tournament went on. I mean, discipline, it did cost us in the end, but obviously you can see Gethin Jenkins' stamp.
I was going to say, there's a new defence coach, isn't there?
Yeah, Sam Warburton was last year, if I'm remembering correctly, and now it's Gethin Jenkins this year. So, look, just keep doing what they're doing. We're outscoring opponents. So even though our defence is creaking, we're still holding up. Like the France game, the evidence, we were holding up all the time. So, the defence needs a bit of work, but it'll get better with time. We've got a nice little combination of youth and experience in there at the moment. Nice to see the youth come out this summer now, if there is a summer tour, or in the autumns when that goes ahead. Because obviously a big chunk of our boys will be on the Lions, I would thought. But just keep going. We got 2 years now to the World Cup. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah. Lee, got anything to say on that?
Yeah, not much to add really. I think it's exciting. Like you said, from what we thought at the start of the tournament, at the end, it's totally different. Just nice to see elements of that rugby that we thought he was going to bring. Like you said, most tries you ever scored. I think when we won the Grand Slam under Gatland in his last year, we scored less tries than Italy. We won the Grand Slam, but
that was a massive defensive effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, but just exciting. I think, obviously you said, with the young players coming through with a mix of the old ones, seeing the rugby that he's played, we've seen touches of it now. Good on him with the pressure that was on him coming in.
Yeah, I think so. Like, how many people would have lasted that or crumbled?
Yeah.
We were joking around start of the Six Nations, before you put videos out, I think we were talking on WhatsApp, Luke, and we were joking around in the group saying that, Pivac out, he'd be the first manager to be sacked, this and that. We're looking at it now, and we're looking at Eddie Jones, who a lot of people tipped to win it.
Yeah.
He could, his head's on the chopping block.
It's crazy how fast things can change, I guess, and credit to Pivac for believing in himself and his methods and his game plan, because it's definitely turned a corner. And I guess, if anything, the players will be more on board now because they've just won a championship with it. So,
yeah, of course, I think so. They're
going to buy into what he wants even more, and hopefully it can mean even better going forward. It was always hard one to follow Gatland, so...
Yeah, it was always a hard job to follow. But on the flip of Welsh rugby then, the last couple of weeks, the regions have put out some fantastic results. The Dragons won again this weekend. So they fell a bit short on their points total, but look, all the regions are performing well at the moment as well. So we can roll this through into this Rainbow Cup now, and then obviously got the Lions tour. Massive momentum going into the autumn. We'll see. I definitely think we'll be there or thereabouts next year competing for the title.
And this this win has given us a bit of money as well, hasn't it, that we weren't expecting to have. So
yeah,
it just seemed to unearth players from nowhere as well. There's like I was like you said about the Bristol game. I was watching that. Sheedy kicked the conversion, but there was another Welsh player that got the man of the match for me. Was it Dan Thomas? Is it? I think
possibly.
It just seems to be good quality players popping up everywhere now all the time, which is
why. Again, and we've touched on this in a previous video, I think, but we definitely need to, as Welsh Rugby Union, not us personally, because there's nothing to do with us, but look at this, the Gatland's law as it was. If you played away, you had to have so many caps. Now you can't look at that. I mean, look, we would never have had Rhys Sammet playing for Wales under Gatland. Do you know what I mean? Bonkers, isn't it?
What is the law now? Is it kind of not there now?
I assume it's been scrapped because we've brought Sheedy in and we've brought Rhys Sammet in. They don't play for Wales. They don't play in Wales, sorry. They play in the Premiership.
Like after they sign if they signed a new contract now in England, then
they're allowed to. I think they with Gatland, he was allowed to bring in players that were, playing abroad or in England. But like you said, I think when they sign a new contract, then after being capped, they have to commit to Okay. Yeah, well, and that's why they brought because they picked players like Josh Adams and they played for Worcester, and then they had, when their contract was up, then they had to come and sign for the Dragons or Cardiff Blues or something.
Yeah, but then you want your players playing the best league, and that's why if they're in the Premiership, leave them there. Absolutely, because you don't want to play in the Pro 14 or Pro 16 as it will be next year. Maybe it'll improve slightly with the South African teams joining, but do you know what? The finals yesterday, it was Leinster v Munster. It's Leinster's fourth title in a row. It was a boring game. Yeah, maybe that's why Ireland's struggling, because they've got no regular competition week in, week out in the Pro 14.
Yep.
Only when they play in the Champions Cup, and obviously that's been disrupted this year with COVID and whatever. So yeah, maybe that's what's affected them. Their guys aren't getting decent game time.
Yeah.
I find the Pro 14 a weird setup. I really do, in terms of being a league. It's just random.
Yeah, and split up into the two conferences now as well, and then South African teams are in, and then they're out, and then they're in again, and
there's more coming in now as well. Yeah, so
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It just feels weird.
Money, man. It's money. CVC money in it. That's the people who do all these tournaments, and they're bringing the cash in. So look, it's what it's about. It's money. It's business, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's not I think I've mentioned this before, and I probably don't know enough about it. And it might sound silly, but for the Scottish, Irish, and Welsh teams, couldn't they have not just joined the English league system or something? Wouldn't that have made more sense?
Yes and no, because you pretty much lose 50% of your European competition then, because it's called the Champions Cup. It's the equivalent of the Champions League, but you've got Welsh, Scottish, Irish, Italian, English, French.
Yeah, I guess that's where rugby's not as big as football in terms of Europe.
Exactly. So,
but we don't have enough teams in our own countries to make our own league, and that's where the difficulty is, isn't it? It's a weird one, but must be a hell of a journey in it to go play away at South Africa. Must be frustrating for the players.
I do mini tour, don't you? And then from television rights, time difference isn't. It's an hour, is it? So for television rights and stuff, it fits perfectly fine. So from that sense, the business commercial sense, this is probably the right call, isn't it?
Fair enough. Okay, well, it's been a good discussion. Last thing been just over an hour now, so good time to end it.
Only one really quick thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
Italy, is it time for the relegation playoff?
I think
from a rugby standpoint, no. From a commercial standpoint, no. They bring too much money into the tournament. And I tell you now, if you brought relegation into that next year, it'll be Wales that get bloody relegated.
No, but I think, I know what you mean. Like, an away trip to Rome is better than Georgia, isn't it? But I think, like, why don't they bring in, I don't know, why don't they bring in, like, a mini tournament? So if you get, I don't know what the international calendar probably doesn't allow for it, but if Italy finished bottom, then, you went to, like, a round-robin tournament with, like, the winner of the championship, which is Georgia all the time. Fiji and America. Imagine a Six Nations game in America.
If you did a relegation promotion thing, I mean, there is the off chance that Scotland or even Wales probably would be in that relegation fight. It would be England this year, which would make for great television and stuff. But chances are it would just be Italy and Georgia swapping places all the time. And is that adding any value to the sport?
No, but I think, I wouldn't do it if it was just Italy versus Georgia every year, because it's just ridiculous. But I think they could look at bringing in, like, if Italy finish bottom, then they have, like, a sort of a round-robin tournament with Georgia, America, Fiji.
What is the tournament that Georgia play in?
It's just like the rugby championship. It's just tier 2.
It's called the rugby championship. It's tier 2. And their win record in that is, like, they've won, like, the last 3 years or so. So stat came up on Twitter not too long ago. It was just www. They win all the time. So it would just be a complete flip.
What I would suggest is potentially that runs alongside the Six Nations, and then whoever finishes bottom of Six Nations the first has a playoff match to see if they swap or not. And I know you're saying, Ash, about, like, it'll just be them two swapping, but wouldn't that might push the other teams in the tier 2 to, like, do better as well, because they have that potential of coming into the more lucrative Six Nations, and it puts some sort of, like, also puts some repercussion on having a bad tournament for the people in the Six Nations. So you can't just be like, oh well, we'll go again next year, because you actually have to fight then to stay in. I know it'll be Italy often, but it has been a couple where Italy didn't finish 6th.
Yeah, no, but our nations then, should we say, sort of, how could you say to the ERU or ERUK or whoever it is that runs the European, there's potential that Scotland are going to get relegated, or there's potential that Ireland are going to get, because they finished last but one a couple of years ago. Do you mean the main home nations are not going to go for that? So that's why I don't see that happen.
I can understand why they wouldn't do it, but I'd love to see, like, even just give that level of competition to Georgia winning, like, what are they, like 18 games and beaten or something in the rugby championship?
Just make it the 7 nations,
and give Italy a game of competition where they have to win. Where they have, they can't just sort of turn up every year and.
Yeah, because it's normally Scotland, isn't it? It's normally Scotland, Italy. Who's going to go that way? But on current form, I can't see Italy beating Scotland anytime soon. So I think they're in for a long run at the bottom, and continuing as they already are, aren't they?
Yeah. And I'd love to see it open up. But I know, like, the Six Nations is the best tournament on earth for rugby, but I just think, like, can you imagine, like, it be Italy, Fiji, America, and Georgia, and then the winner goes into the Six Nations? Just imagine, like, I don't know, make Fiji play in Spain or something. Away day to Madrid, Wales, Fiji. Get it done. I'm all for it.
Well, I'm sure maybe something will happen, because at the end of the day, money changes everything. So I guess if there's ever any question of more money, they would look at it. But until that is the situation, then they won't. So
the home nations won't do it.
That's the bottom line, really, isn't it? I think money. Yeah. But cheers for coming on, guys. Been a good chat. Like you said, this is the last one of the Six Nations this year. Wales being champions, which we're obviously chuffed about because France decided to bottle it. Well, they bottled it against England, really, I think.
Classic France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a look at doing something for the Lions, and otherwise, any other suggestions, let us know in the comments. As always, then, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video, as it helps us to grow as a channel, and we shall see you in the next one. So cheers, Ash. Cheers, Lee.
Cheers, lads.
And, see you later.
Speak soon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swans related t-shirts.